Good morning. My name is David Jones, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm a member of the worship committee, and I'll be your worship associate this morning. And whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are in your life's journey, you are welcome here. Welcome to this virtual service of the Unitarian Society of New Haven. We are a diverse, multi-generational faith community that inspires lives of compassion and generosity, nurtures spiritual growth, cultivates transformative connections, and creates a more just world. We covenant together to create and nurture a culture of respect and kindness, and to engage in the spiritual and everyday practice of loving more generously. This is a congregation that believes Black Lives Matter, that every person has the right to affirm their own gender identity, and that all people are inherently worthy. We acknowledge that our sanctuary sits on the land traditionally that of the Quinnipiac and other Native people. As a congregation, we seek to heal the wounds of the past and the present in ongoing work of reconciliation. If you're joining us for the first time, we're so glad you chose to spend this time with us. We meet electronically for now, but know we will be together again in person. The email address of the membership team is on the screen, and you can visit usnh.org to find out more about us. There will be a Zoom meeting for newcomers immediately following the service. A few announcements we want to highlight. First, on Saturday, March 27th, will be our annual virtual Seder and Passover service via Zoom. The Seder will begin at 5 o'clock. Secondly, the USNH Easter egg hunt, which is open to all ages, will be Sunday, April 4th at 12:30. Bring a basket or bag. Eggs will be marked for each participant, so please pre-register. Masks and social distancing will be required. And finally, the stewardship campaign is going green. Pledge materials will be emailed this week, so please watch for them. If you need materials mailed to you at your home, please email office@usnh.org to contact Jamie. And more info on these announcements can be found at usnh.org. Now let us settle in, take a relaxing breath, and let us worship together. Our call to worship this morning is attributed to Kali Dasa. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course, lie all the verities and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day.
Our chalice lighting today is by Maureen Killeran. Love can transform the world. Love is the aspiration, the spirit that moves and inspires the faith we share. Rightly understood, love can nurture our spirits and transform the world. May the flame of this chalice honor and embody the power and blessings of the love we need, the love we give, the love we are challenged always to remember and share.
What gift can we bring? What presents, what token? What words can convey it? The joy of this day, when grateful we come,
Good morning. Today's message for all is a responsive reading. I will say my part first, and then your words will appear at the bottom of the screen, and I invite you to say them from your homes along with Cedro and with all of us at the end. When I feel lonely, I reach out to you for comfort, and you hear my call. You sing with me. You speak with me. You sit with me in shared silence.
I hear you. I see you. I am with you.
When questions big and small arise within me, when not knowing drives me to explore, search, and discover, you are by my side, exploring, searching, and sharing what you've discovered.
I share your questions. I delight in finding truths with you.
When the world seems unfair, unsafe, unclean, I ask you to do the difficult work of justice, of equity seeking, of stewardship along with me. Alone, I might make a small difference. Together, we have a much greater impact.
I join my voice with yours, seeking a better world.
When I hear that someone is hurting, suffering, crying, I call to you to lend your listening ears, your comforting shoulder, your caring heart, that we may together bear the hurt in hopes that it will weigh less when carried by all.
I offer my ears, my shoulders, my heart. Your burden is mine as well.
You, me, us. We are community. We are strong together. Giving, receiving, sharing, loving. This is the blessing of our faith river. Single drops flowing into an ocean of caring and understanding. Usted, yo, nosotros. Somos una comunidad. Somos fuertes juntos, dando, recibiendo, compartiendo, amando. Es la bendición de nuestro río de fe. Gotas fluyendo juntos hasta que llegan al mar de cariño y entendimiento. Blessed be, my friends.
Hello, I am Jamie Johnson, one of your pastoral care associates. Let us turn our attention now to the concerns of this community. I invite you to join with me in holding in our hearts the joys and sorrows of those around you, closing your eyes and going inward if you are comfortable doing so. Today, some woke with a sorrow so great they asked for the help of the community to carry it. Others woke with a joy so great it must be shared. Shannon Chaiklin and family share. I am thinking of and missing my father, Peter Donlin, on the 18th anniversary of his death. My mother, Tona Donlin, on the 3rd anniversary of her death, exactly 1 week shy of 15 years after my father, and my grandmother, Alma Ruth Book of Oz, on the 1st anniversary of her death, 5 days after my father's anniversary. March has been a month of mourning and reflection for quite a while for me, but feels that much more intense after the year we've had. For the joys and sorrows that haven't been spoken, but which remain in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, we bear witness.
At this time of spring's emergence and the foundations of USNH being tended in shared stewardship, let us meditate in mind and heart on our gratitude this morning. I invite you to be still, to close your eyes if you'd like, and to join me in the experience of feeling beautifully grateful. Gratitude, deeply experienced, helps us remember that we are part of a universe of connected, living things. Our hearts are filled, our spirits are lifted. We are transported to memories of surviving hard times and to the help we have contributed to the world throughout our lives. As we move deeper into our feelings and thoughts of gratitude, let us be aware of our hearts beating, filling inward with love and compassion. Let us be aware of our breath, breathing in and out with compassion. As we visualize our sanctuary at USNH, picture the sunlight, the colors, the faces and smiles. May we be strengthened by sharing our gratitude with abundant joy and welcoming all who are new members and visitors to our congregation. As we imagine the sounds of USNH, both real and virtual, may we be lifted by the inspiration of words, beautiful music, laughter, and silence. As we bring our awareness to our arms, reaching out in hugs or handshakes once again or for the first time, in helping to carry the load of gifts to our communities within and without, may we restore our confidence in the strength of our capacities. As we contemplate our abundance, however we experience it, may we sense a flow of empathy and caring and the potential for growth and change around us. Now, let's just breathe and feel this warmth and connection as we gather virtually, aware of the gifts we realize in our gratefulness. Let's be confident in sustaining these gifts through the strength of our beloved congregation as we live our values every day.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Good morning, Reverend Linda Susan, and the whole entire USNH congregation. My name is Tanisha Drummons, and I'm here today to speak about the values that I hold dear to me every single day. I am a very passionate woman about everything that I do. I sometimes beat myself up because I want to do everything and time is just not there for me. But with the support of my friends here at USNH, they tell me, Tanisha, you cannot conquer the world, but you definitely hold those values to you and you try. It's been a rough year with COVID and trying to stay safe and keep those values uplifted. I have been one of the most depended upon persons throughout this time. Whether it's my community, whether it's my family, whether it's my friends. I always love to work with kids. Kids are my passion. That's one of my values. The passion to help others out. If I can do it, everyone can do it. That's how I always think, but it really doesn't go that way. I value commitment. Being committed to something like being partnershipped with USNH for over 26 years, that's a commitment. Some people are like, wow, you've been running a program for about 20 years? And I'm like, yeah, I have. But it wasn't only me, it was the support of the community, the value of the community that helped me get to this space where I am now. Life has been giving us so many obstacles that values are not as easy to hold. But if we continue to keep these values together, we can move mountains. One of my other values that I hold dear is my loyalty. Loyalty is key. If you're loyal and you're staying focused and you have all of the people that see you being passionate, see you being concerned, see you working hard to help them out of any issues that they have, they're just as loyal to you as you are to them. I just really would like to thank the whole entire USNH congregation for giving me the time to talk about the values that I still hold dear every single day. I am committed to this program. I am committed to you all. I am committed to life. So please be safe and know that if you need me, I am here for you. Thank you and have a great day.
Our community continues while we remain apart, and the need for ongoing support continues as well. While the music plays, I urge you to consider navigating to the usnh.org website and making a donation. Donations can also be sent by U.S. mail to the Unitarian Society of New Haven, 700 Hartford Turnpike, Hamden, Connecticut, 06517. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Tis the gift to be simple, tis the gift to be free, tis the gift to come down where you want to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning, we come down right. 'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where you want to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, 'twill be the valley of love and delight.
Our reading this morning is Gratitude by Swiftwalker, Let's start with the people we love and those who love us. Thankful they are in our lives, obliging us to open our hearts. Let open hearts embrace the earth, the sea and soil and stars, blessed by beauty, the bounty of being. Then, with hearts open to beauty, let us embrace the arts and the generation of learning that we should have wisdom. Let what wisdom we have, wan and wanting, lead us to strive so the seventh generation hence can live more fully. It is in that work and that alone that we can express our thankful spirit. May we make it so. For the opening to make it so, let us be truly grateful. Amen.
I want to invite you into a brief experience with me. Imagine that you are in a well-lit grocery store going down a well-stocked aisle by yourself. Maybe there are rows and rows of canned goods, or maybe shelf after shelf of breakfast cereals. I mean, those are two of the places where I, at least, often find myself overwhelmed by the sheer volume of choices in front of me. I mean, take just beans as an example. Black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, garbanzo beans, refried beans, vegetarian refried beans, chili beans, hot chili beans, medium chili beans, mild chili beans, mixed chili beans, white chili beans, and don't even get me started on all the varieties of baked beans. At times like this, my mind will start to drift into a kind of faux nostalgia for Soviet-era grocery stores, conveniently erasing the hardship with an untroubled patina of simplicity and limited options. I snap out of it pretty quickly, truly grateful that my family isn't facing starvation. I refocus myself and get back to why I'm there. Right, we're almost out of black beans. Get 4 cans of that. RJ loves soup, so I'll get some chicken noodle, but not, as we've learned in time, the condensed kind. And maybe I'll pick up a can of sliced beets for myself and be on my merry way. Navigating our everyday lives can feel like that well-stocked grocery store. Maybe you're thinking about your job or parenting or the pandemic, and all of a sudden it's overwhelming. How are you supposed to deal with one more day of virtual learning with your kids? Or that argument you had with your best friend? Or the test results that won't be ready for at least a week? When you find yourself in that place of overwhelm, it's time to refocus and get back to why you're here. What are the fundamental values that undergird who you are? What are your touchstones? Because being Unitarian Universalist isn't something that just happens on Sundays. Love calls us to live our values every day. Now, maybe you'll get through that school day because you value kindness and you don't want to take out your frustration on your kids. Maybe honesty is important to you, which is why you'll call your best friend and talk things through. Maybe you regularly practice gratitude, which helps you stay in the present moment while you wait for those test results to come in. By coming back to what's important to us, we make the choice to live our values over and over. And we have certain guides that help us remember our commitments. The 6 sources and 7 principles, maybe soon 8, are primary examples. If you happen to have a gray hymnal handy, you can find the principles and sources in the front, just after the preface. They speak of our respect for each other and of the interdependent web of existence. They honor direct experience, prophetic words, and the wisdom found in a multiplicity of theologies. As a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association, USNH has covenanted to affirm and promote these commitments. USNH also has our own covenant, which is an absolutely essential element in the way UU communities gather. And it's a beautiful one, too, worthy of living into and living up to. We covenant together to create and nurture a culture of respect and kindness, and to engage in the spiritual and everyday practice of loving more generously. While the following words express our intentions in writing, our true covenant lives and breathes in our actions. To this end, we will strive to be open, value differences, listen deeply, use kind language, speak our truths, work with conflict, seek humor and joy. Now, I want to be clear that our covenants and principles and sources aren't arbitrary rules that you're supposed to follow just because someone said you should. They're guideposts that point us towards the lives we want to live, the lives we choose to lead. Not that following these guideposts is always simple or easy. Sometimes we might find ourselves in a situation where 2 deeply held beliefs lead in diverging directions. For example, perhaps you have a longtime friend with radically different politics than you. On the one hand, you love this person and have important history together. On the other hand, their beliefs have implications that you can't ignore. If there's no way to resolve the tension, you'll need to make a choice. Let go of the relationship, or live with the tension and hold multiple truths at once. Now, we'll never be perfect at living our values every day. But fortunately, our task isn't perfection, but faithfulness. We keep striving to do our best, even if one day that looks like a healthy gourmet meal, and the next day that looks like a trip through the drive-thru. If we make the best choice we can at any given moment for that particular context, then we'll rarely have cause for regret, even when the choice turns out to be a mistake. There are certain values that I can never bring myself to regret acting on. If I treat someone with more kindness than they deserve, I'm okay with that. If I express my affection for a friend with more enthusiasm than they do, so be it. If I can hold compassion for someone who has done something awful, even as I hold them accountable, I don't mind making my heart big enough for that. If I can find gratitude in a truly bleak moment, I take the win. And if I pour out more generosity than I'd originally planned, I count it as a blessing. Everyone in the USNH community has a choice to make in the coming days about the amount of generosity you'll pour into this congregation. This is the time of year when we ask people to make their pledges for the upcoming church year. And as with the principles, sources, and covenants, giving to USNH isn't an arbitrary duty that you do just because you're supposed to. It's an expression of who you want to be, the life you choose to lead, and your love for the people who share this journey with you. To be clear, financial gifts are not the only way to demonstrate your commitment to USNH. Money should never be a barrier to membership or participation. And indeed, if you need a waiver, just check the box on your pledge form. Generosity comes in many forms, and it comes with varying degrees of zeros at the end. What's most important is honoring your commitment by making some pledge of record. We're aiming for 100% participation. And that said, let's also be clear that everything we do in the coming year depends on how much money we raise for the budget. Everything from our music programs, to our support for Waverly, to fair compensation for staff, to the upkeep of the building where we will gather again someday soon. All of it depends on your generosity. My theology that there is no such thing as them never holds more true than during a stewardship campaign. It is truly all us. What then will we, as a community, choose to do? Well, we've started answering that question. I'm excited to share that more than 50 congregational leaders have pledged more than $200,000. That's already over 40% towards our goal of $490,000. Now, if you're able to increase your pledge, I encourage you to do it. If your stimulus check isn't needed for basic necessities, please consider adding at least part of it to the amount you gave last year. And if this is your first time pledging, welcome to the joy of giving. Living our values every day. Its acronym is LOVED. Universalism teaches that each of us is loved no matter what. It isn't dependent on what kind of work you do or how many hours you spend helping others, and certainly not on how much you pledge to USNH. Our Universalist ancestor, Hosea Ballou, put it this way: "Your child has fallen into the mire, and its body and garments are defiled. You cleanse it and array it in clean robes. The query is, do you love your child because you have washed it? Or did you wash it because you loved it?" The love that will not let us go holds us because that is its nature. And if you're not quite sure what to make of all that, then hear this. I love you. I love you. I know I only got here in August, and I love you. I know there are some of you I've never met in person. I love you too. There will be times when you're angry with me, or hurt by something I've said, or frustrated by how long it takes me to respond, and vice versa for that matter. It's okay, because I also love you. Even if you don't believe a word that I'm saying right now, I still love you. Because that is one of the values that I aim to live into every day. That's a choice that I make over and over and over. And goodness knows it's easier to make that kind of choice when surrounded by other people who keep showing up and choosing love and kindness and honesty and gratitude and respect and, yes, generosity. Being part of a faith community helps you stay focused on the things that bring you meaning. The mutuality fortifies your faithfulness to your deepest values. And when your life flows out of the wellspring of those values, you can look back upon it with peace and contentment. Love is what we're here for. May it continue to overwhelm us again and again and again. Amen, and blessed be.
When
We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. These words from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speak a truth as necessary for us to remember today as it was 6 decades ago. From major issues like the pandemic and climate change to modest concerns like the congregation's budget, we are in this together. And however overwhelmed we might feel at times, let's remember another truth. Love is what we're here for. Go in peace, my friends, with courage and with kindness, and be a blessing to the world.